VoyMonk video voice vlog. Yeah, it's a Tuesday, and it's really weird. After Monday's video voice vlog, I was like, you know, I guess I should talk about some things I do like about sports, but I want to preface this off of a little more detail as far as what I was saying, as far as some of the things that I don't really like. One of the things that I think kind of gets a bit out of hand is when you have a sports team for whatever reason. And, like for example, and sports news, just like any other kind of news, almost feels as useless in that as it does anything else, because really there's not really a lot being talked about. Like there'll be a 2 hour game, and then there'll be an hour of basically saying almost nothing about it that's of any kind of relevance. Like we just watched a game, and depending on the league, like it could be like, baseball or basketball or anything that has like 100 games, and it's like we're not even past much past the preseason, and you have people literally making predictions and predeterminations about something which no one could really know at all based on the variables of so many different things. Now, I understand that there's betting and people have their enjoyment of it with that, but even before that became as much of a thing in recent years as it is now, I mean, you would literally have people that, I swear to God, a team could go almost 5 or 10 games on a winning streak, and then suddenly they lose, and there's talk about who needs to be replaced and what coach or someone needs to be fired. Like, I can get that when it's prudent. I understand why it makes sense in some capacities, but if it's just something that's just being said out of frustration or anger because a person who's, calling themselves a fan just doesn't get that, sometimes teams don't win. Sometimes there's reasons why they don't win, just like there's reasons why they do win. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with a lucky number or something like that. There's real applications for not only science, but math in general, and, physical, elements and that sort of thing, and social elements as well. But the point being is that, I don't mind actual criticisms when they come from somewhere, but usually when or if it's just someone who's just speaking not only out of turn, but not out of a real understanding of what's going on. Like, I'll give an example. A team is, that we have is supposed to play another team that is literally one of the worst in the league, right? But by some notion or whatever, if we beat this team that is the worst in the league, somehow that is supposed to mean that, we've achieved some great milestone or that we've made some great statement, and consequently, same thing is true of the opposite end. If it's a championship team and we've had a terrible season and we managed to beat them, the question or the answers or the talk is never really about why, not in the explicit detail. Oftentimes it's just, well, it's because of something like, I don't know, the team doesn't have enough spirit, or someone isn't trying hard enough for something. Just arbitrary, not actual plays, not play count or anything like that. Just overall outspoken individuals who are more dedicated to the optics of what a team should look like, its colors, and whether it wins or loses based on comparisons that are only about that image, rather than, hey, you know what, maybe the team's just not doing very well because certain players are injured. Maybe they're being sidelined. Maybe there's other elements, that are into play. Maybe the championship team that took one loss, it's because of what I just mentioned, and or maybe that one team that beat them that lost every other game had a formula that the championship team just didn't anticipate. But quite frankly, when it comes to actually talking about some of these things. And it doesn't really matter the sport. I'm not picking on anything or attacking anyone. It's just very oftentimes it's very clear that the only real motivations, especially by leagues, is the money, and to, sometimes, many times, capitulate and encourage this types of fandom, which is okay to a degree, but oftentimes, and usually when it does get out of hand, there's certain other socioeconomic and other dynamics that are in play that just kind of get. But there are good things about sports as well. I'll probably bring that up maybe tomorrow. So until my next vlog, take care.